and they're part of our community. And ultimately, in terms of this kind of competition between queens, all the queens are it's a community, you know. I mean, you're competing against each other in this competition, but this is, we gotta stick together. And like, you might have just taken Coco out, and thank God, but Coco is still part of our world, in the words of Ariel the Little Mermaid. So that's what I'm saying.
Totally. And it has been very, very interesting, because I know that audiences across America, I try not to, but I see the comments here and there. Oh, that's the photo of Amanda Lepore, ladies and gentlemen. That's the photo that people thought was Amanda Lepore. Turned out it was Jinkx. It's been very interesting, because, you know, I've gone around the country a little bit now, and I see that people kind of really dig into Coco, because Coco, you know, I think to an extent let her ass hang out a little bit. But Coco, you know, has a whole other side to her. And it was funny, the way I can encapsulate mine and Coco's relationship is that, you know, what happens on camera, that's real. It's not that it's not real. It's just that is us in the heat of competition, you know, and that does a lot to people. And after the episode, I think it was 2 episodes ago, where I was wearing my lace outfit, and she did the whole, like, if I wore this, they'd say, you know, they'd rip me to shreds, but you can walk out there like that and you'd look beautiful. She did the whole thing over to me, and we got into a big fight about it. Coco had texted me the next day. I love sharing my texts with the audience too, because we were in the 2013. But Coco texted me and said, I haven't seen Untucked yet, but based on the death threats, I'm sure I said something really mean to you, and I want you to know that at the end of the day, I know that we're sisters and I love you. And I said, you don't even have to tell that to me, because that's just what this competition is. You can fight tooth and nail for that crown. Doesn't mean you don't still respect the other person on the other side of that runway, ladies and gentlemen. And that goes for life. That goes for life. You can fight for what you want, but that doesn't mean you hate everyone else who also wants it. That's just how it is. That's just being a human being in this world. And I think, you know, it's good to remember that in this competition, because it's easy to put us into compartments, you know, make us archetypes, but we are sisters and we like each other.
Well, and that's part of what's so nice about having this kind of connection, where you get to interact with one of the girls who's actually on the TV, because it's very easy to sort of, you know, vilify individuals who you have distance from, but you make them all little human, and that's nice. They're all nice. They're all little humans.
Little humans in big drag queen suits. Yeah. We are going to open the floor to question and answer right now, because there's still quite a bit of you here. So we're going to try to keep it, we're going to try to keep it cute. We're going to keep it to like five or so questions. So make them good ones. Don't waste your question on a statement like, hey, Jinkx, your dress is green. Because those questions will be rebuffed with a lot of animosity from the rest of the
Here's the questions that have got the audiences mad in the past. Our questions like this question: Jinkx, I love you. This other question: Jinkx, you single? Or
those
are the ones that you should just avoid. So okay, who's got the first question? Yes.
Has the final episode been filmed yet, or is there going to be a special live?
We're going to ask a first question, because that one is completely contractually obligated for me not to say a single word about it. So good night, young woman over there. I'm sorry that I can't answer your question. I'm just going to turn around and we're going to pretend like that whole moment never happened. Watch this. 1, 2, 3. First question, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, first question of the night. This gentleman.
Aladia's also directing with a microphone back there.
But I'm in sequins.
Sequins gown.
Do you actually read any of the exited interviews from the queens? Because almost all of them have said that you should be the one that wins.
I've seen what makes it to my Facebook wall, and I have seen that a lot of them have rooted for me. And all I gotta say is, it's just what I was talking about before. Like, I did not end on bad terms with any of these girls, no matter where our rivalry was at. One of the ones that meant the most to me was Alyssa Edwards' most recent. She really spoke volumes of the relationship that we had that was off camera. And even though Alyssa is quite the character and quite the pageant girl with a huge ego in that giant wig of hers. A lot of character. She said some really nice things about me, and it really stands true to what I'm talking about. Like, Alyssa and I really did form a good friendship, and I'm glad that the air of competition didn't squash that. So yeah, I've seen some of those things, and all I gotta say is thank you, sisters. You're so sweet for saying that.
So now I'll let Elijah read Lead the Way.
I know, and we want to make sure to get little Kiara Leviathan over there. Yeah, right? Yeah.
From the comments you've seen about the queens that nobody likes, I mean, we all cheered when Coco went home tonight. Who would you say is the most misunderstood queen?
The most misunderstood.
I love that question.
Well, I was going to say Alyssa, but Alyssa has kind of warmed the cockles of everyone's hearts.
I think we understand her at this
Yeah,
point.
we understand her. I feel like Ivy at times was painted to be quite the ditz when Ivy was really fiercely intelligent and has so many skills that I don't have. Like, she's making her own ventriloquist dummy, by the way. I forgot to tell you that. She's like, I want a ventriloquist dummy. I think I'll learn how to make one and then make one. That's really, really special. I also feel like penetration, she went home too soon. She had some really spectacular moments in that one episode, and she just kind of got buffed down to what we saw of her. But penetration was really quite sweet, quite smart, and quite skilled in her school of drag, So I'm going to say penetration. Penetration went home before anyone got to see what penetration really had to offer, so...
Enlightening. Google her. Where's the next question coming from?
I teleported.
Oh my word. Keeping everybody on
the
their
phone.
Hi.
Okay, so my question is, I think it was the season that she really pissed you off, or you said that you wanted to beat Coco Montrese in this competition. Aside from winning, you wanted to make it farther than her. Do you feel like your goal is like totally met and you're just like really happy that she went home tonight?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I love Coco, and I'm not lying when I say I love Coco, but she pissed me off that night, and I said to myself, and I said to America, it was my personal vendetta. This is just a little insider story, okay? So sophomore year of college, who is now my favorite teacher, Kira McDonald, one of my she's my theater mentor. Some people know her back there. Wonderful. Kira McDonald has been a mentor to me since I worked at Cornish as a student. Worked at Cornish and went there as a student. I did both. So she one day in class told me, on my cow project, I was doing an animal project where I had to move like an animal, and I picked the cow.
Can you show us some of that right now?
I'll show you in a second, but she literally said to me, she said, everything about your project right now is not working. You need to start completely over. We only had 1 or 2 weeks to present it. And she said, start completely over because nothing you got is working for you. And I was pissed, and I was ready to just blame it all on her, and I said, oh, that teacher just doesn't understand me. And then I said, wait a second, maybe I can take this as an opportunity to make her eat her own words. And so I made it my personal vendetta to prove her wrong, and I turned around and then delivered what she referred to as one of the best animal projects she's ever seen. So I learned a lesson that day. I said, if you let people's animosity towards you, or you let people's negative comments fuel you to do better, rather than to get down on yourself about what they said, use it to fuel you to do better. You can really accomplish wonderful things. So I said to myself, I'm going to let Coco's negativity tonight be the thing that powers my engine for the rest of the season. And I let that happen, and I outlasted Coco Montrese just like I said I would. So I don't take that back. I don't take it back. I stand here to say, sometimes when you piss the wrong bitch off, she comes back for you in the end.
Well, that was a rousing speech, but it doesn't get you off the hook. I'm gonna hold the mic. You show us your cow.
I did it up the stairs, so I have to go to the stairs. Because cows' legs and arms are the same length, and humans' legs and arms aren't the same length. So I said, oh, I can compensate for it by going up the stairs. That was my big, brilliant thing. So...
not really in the legs, so I did a lot of chewing that day. I chewed a lot of cilantro that day for my project, and you know what? I got an A. So that's what happens when you piss off a campy comedy queen. I'll tell you that much.
But I'm sure it helped with the Mexicana challenge. Okay, wait. So where's the next question?
I'm back here. Actually, I have a question. Jinkx, when